everyone. Hi, it is Krystalracquel. I'm just checking in with you all. I know it's been a long time since I've been on. I know I made a video, I think it was in April, early April, and then I just disappeared. And now it's October 2022, same year, but several months later. I think that's about 6 months or so. So I'm just checking in. There's something I actually wanted to talk about. I'm going to become more consistent with this. I think it's very important. A topic that I really want to touch on today is how to... I have two topics I actually want to talk about, but I'm going to talk about one. It's going to be how to date correctly. Well, if I talk about that, actually I have to talk about something else too. I am actually engaged. I'm engaged after just 6 months. So I think this topic should also focus, it might end up being 2 videos. However, how to get proposed to in under 6 months. I think that's a really good one. And I'm sure that there's people around who either want some advice or are, just confused about dating. So if you want to be proposed to, or rather, if you're looking to be married, that's the first part, I guess. At this moment, I am 33. I was 32 when for the past years, I would say probably when I was 28, maybe 27, but probably 28 is seriously when I started, or is when I wanted to seriously find a partner. And only, I would say early this year is when I really gave my all and went about doing a lot of prayers for it. But aside from that, I want to just focus on what it really means when you have a partner. As a woman, what you have to do, just to ensure that the relationship functions. So, as I mentioned, I am engaged. Within 6 months of dating, I would say actually about 5 months of dating. So there's a lot of things that we need to just be mindful of, in terms of how we're dating and getting to know people. And when I met my fiance, when we first started to get to know one another, and we decided, or that I decided I was going to be exclusive with him, since that's going to be the focus. I really, at that point in my life, I was just happy with myself. I felt healthy. I felt, just satisfied with who I was and, where I was going. And I think that definitely, is something that made my fiance attracted to me. In the dating phase, as a woman, you don't want to give your all too soon. That just means, you don't want to be so into that person, or you don't want that man to feel that you're so into them. And really, a man, they want to be the chaser. A man wants to be the one to go after the woman normally. So if someone's interested in you, a man, they are going to reach out to you. They're going to set up dates with you, and you'll respond to that from a man. In the months that I knew my fiance, so we actually met, we started talking in April, and we started getting to know each other, and we started talking in the beginning of April, and then we went on our first date mid to the end of April. And that's something really important. When you first start getting to know someone, you want to make sure that you're asking important questions. So you really want to make sure that that person is into you. that they're asking questions about you as a, as a man, that they're interested in you, and that they're not after one thing from you. So um when I first went on dates with my fiance, we we went to public places, and I know in this day and age people make it seem like a man, and a woman should go 50-50. If that's something you're interested in, sure, go ahead. But for me, you need to set your expectations up front. You never want to be demanding with the individual that you're getting to know, but you do want to be clear about your expectations, just in terms of what you expect. You don't always have to verbalize that, but a man should know there's certain things he can't do with you, and a lot of that you don't have to state, but just by simply stating a few standards that you have, that man is going to know who you are. Like my fiance, he'll say things now like, "Oh, well, yeah, I know what it was with that, because you had already told me this." For example, when we first started to get to know him, well, getting to know one another, I was very clear about my beliefs. I was very clear that I was a Christian. I do believe in God, and I follow Christianity. And I made that clear that that was important to me. My fiance is also a believer, but as you know, everyone has their own walk. So I was very clear about my path and what I believed, and that I believed that the Bible was truth. So he knew that about me, and that also came down to some of the things in the Bible that maybe people don't tend to follow nowadays. But I was very clear and specific about what I intended, and what I envisioned my a relationship to be. One thing that I was clear on was that I wasn't looking for a boyfriend. I was very clear that I'm here to get to know someone. I don't necessarily believe in boyfriend girlfriend relationships, but you might, and there's nothing wrong with that. But there was definitely a phase where obviously we were getting to know each other and we were exclusive to one another, but just how I expressed myself in the beginning to him about what my interest was, why I was dating, which was to, eventually seek someone for marriage. Obviously, you don't want to scare someone away. There's a way that you would do it, right? So if you're getting to know someone and you're telling them if they're asking what you're looking for and things like that, it's okay for you to be honest. You should be honest, but not to the point where you're saying, well, yeah, I'm looking for my husband. There's a way to say it, right? So when I explained what I was looking for, I really just went into just explain that, yeah, I'm looking for a partner. I'm getting to know people, and I want to find the right person for me. But in another video, I'll go more in depth in terms of dating and how you become exclusive with someone. Because honestly, in this situation, when I was dating, he wasn't the only person that I was getting to know. So in terms of just talking and maybe going on dates, but specifically with my fiance, in terms of how you get proposed to within 6 months, because I was actually proposed to last month in September. So yeah, it was about 5.5 months since I had first started talking to him, and pretty much exactly 5 months since we started going on dates. So, another thing, I already mentioned that just in terms of, who you are. At that point in my life, I was very happy with who I was. That was something that my fiance was attracted to. He also mentioned that he knows that I care about him, and that he knows I'm the one for him, and I'm everything that he prayed for and more, or everything that he's wanted and prayed for and more. So in terms of a man and a woman, you're try your best to be peaceful. I've had relationships in the past where there's a point where you want to be right, or the other person wants to be right, or you just become frustrated with the other person. So when I went into this situation and we were getting to know each other, and we were becoming exclusive, I just really made sure that I just engage with my fiance or my boyfriend or the individual I was getting to know at the time. I really just engaged with him, and I was very caring, and that was just who I was and who I am. But that's another thing. Before I was even dating, I'll talk about this in the other video that I'm going to do in terms of how to date correctly. But in terms of before I was even getting to know him and exclusive with him, I became content with my life as it was, as a single person. I focused on myself, disciplining myself, making sure I was eating correctly, doing physical activity. But also I was able to just forgive anyone that had hurt me, and just move forward, in my life and what I wanted for myself. So that's a big part. Any relationship that you go into or that you've been through, you don't really want to look at it as all negative just because it didn't work out. You want to look at those as learning situations. So you've been in those situations and they didn't work out, but hey, what can I learn from it? A lot of times we like to completely blame the other person. We like to say, oh, well, this person did this to me, blah, 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 blah. Well, a lot of times we need to look at ourselves. If that person was so bad, especially if it was for a long duration of time, you got to start asking yourself questions. Okay, why did I stay? And things like that. Or let's say you and another individual weren't getting along. It's just always easy to put the blame on the other person, but yeah, they have their own wrong, but we need to start looking at ourselves. How are we contributing to that situation? So if you're constantly arguing with somebody or even constantly having disagreements, you may need to start questioning that, because it takes two people to argue. But just going back to, once again, how to get proposed to within 6 months. So you really want to just be content in who you are. Forgive anyone that might have hurt you. And then also, I was just mentioning discipline. You want to need to discipline yourself, discipline your life, discipline yourself, because in terms of a long-term relationship and in terms of a marriage, you need to be disciplined. Have a regimen, start focusing on yourself. When you become married, your life is not just going to be all about you. It's going to be about you and that partner, and depending on your beliefs, you're going to become one with that person. So you need to learn how to, like I said, discipline yourself, but also learn how to compromise on things, not on set standards and, just depending on your beliefs, either standards for yourself or standards that you believe on based on your belief system, and it may be a religion. Have your standards and stick with them, but you also need to learn how to compromise. One thing that I was learning, like as I was disciplining myself, and I think I mentioned earlier in the video that I went through like a prayer period. This is before I was just exclusive with my fiance, but I was disciplining myself. There was a point in time where I was working out consistently, or like working out every single day. I've started that up again, and I can talk about that in another video as well. But I discipline myself, and that helps you in terms of your structure, helps you in terms of your mind. I'm just taking a moment to show my ring. It helps you in terms of your mind, and also helps in terms of your body. It helps you in terms of, basically in that moment, I told myself I was gonna, do something every single day that was a workout, right? And that also helps me in terms of how I approach situations. So regardless of how I felt, regardless of what I wanted, I made sure that I did my exercise every single day, whether it was 20, 30, or 1 hour. I can't remember exactly what I was doing at the time, but every single day. And that kind of helped me with something in myself. There was a point in time where, I'm a very independent person. At the time, I was 32. I turned 33 in April. And I was very independent. Imagine, early 30s. I'm not married at the time. So just very independent, focused on myself, loving myself. And, before the start of the year, I typically will become frustrated when things don't go my way, because I'm used to having my way, because I'm independent. So doing that disciplined me by doing the exercise every single day, making sure I'm eating correctly, But outside of that, um, one other thing that you wanna, when you're in a relationship with someone, and getting to know them, you wanna be very caring towards them. Ask them how they're doing. Remember, um, it's not all about you. A lot of times, in society, depending on who you listen to or who you've heard of, some people make it seem like as a woman, you're here just for the soft life. Okay, absolutely not. I'm somebody who I'm very big. I do believe that the woman is the gift to the man. When the woman enters the man's life, a lot of times his life improves dramatically. Um, However, in a relationship, it's not about the woman having a soft life. If it's a soft life, to me, I see that I see that woman as like a dependent, or like someone who's not really self-sufficient at all and is completely reliant on someone else. So if you're going to enter into a partnership, regardless of what your beliefs are, whether you believe that the man is the head, or whatever you believe, if you're going to enter into a partnership, that means that the other individual is going to be depending on you for some things. That's going to be, your thoughts, your ideas, how you can help, and whether it's in the household, whether it's outside of the household. So just keep that in mind. This is a partnership. The person that you're getting to know, or that you're in a relationship with, or that's your fiance, they are there to, my belief is that the person that you're going to enter into a lifelong relationship with, they're there not to do everything that you want. They're there not to gas your head up. A lot of times, the person that you end up with, they're there to kind of as a mirror, to help you see yourself and help you make changes in yourself. I had already realized that about myself, that in the past, like when I didn't get my way about some things, I would just become frustrated, like, with the other person. And although that's something that I worked on, and that I don't do that for the most part. There was one incident, I can't remember exactly what it was, but my fiance now, he mentioned, whenever you don't get your way, you don't like it, you get upset. And that made me laugh, because that was something that I did feel about myself in the past a lot, that I knew about myself. So a lot of times, that person who you end up with, they're there as a reflection, just to help you see yourself and help you recognize some things about yourself and make changes. Because I truly believe that our purpose on this earth is to be molded, and to improve ourselves, and to make a mark on this earth. Another way another way that you can get proposed to within 6 months is simply by being yourself. For me, I'm someone who I love to laugh, but then I'm also in terms of career, I'm very professional, but I love to laugh. So just be yourself. I'm very kind. When we were getting to know each other, I was constantly smiling and happy when I was with him. So, with my fiance and I, we don't get to see each other every single day, but we do see each other's, frequently. So a few times a week on the weekends. And I, did not use that opportunity to start an argument, point out flaws. One of the things that you want to be mindful of is, you don't have to say everything that comes to your head. And as women, we need to remember that men and women are not the same. It's been proven we think differently, and I think the side of our brain that we use, depending, it could vary. Not just within gender, but depend on other things as well. But we don't think the same. So if in your mind you immediately have an issue and you want to talk about it, communicate, you don't always have to bring that up right away. Give it some time, think about it, and think about whether or not it's even worth it to bring up. A lot of men, sometimes they they don't want to feel criticized by you. So even if you have an issue with something, if it's not a huge deal, think about whether at that moment you have to bring it up. A lot of times we think to ourselves, oh, I just want to get this off my chest. I just want to talk about it. I just need to tell him. You just really reevaluate whether or not you need to or not, because a lot of times, although as women we're saying things, we just want to talk about something, and we figure when we're saying something, it's not to criticize, it's just to have a conversation about something. But from a lot of men's perspective, they feel like you're criticizing them, and just based on their position and you being in a relationship with them, they want to feel supported by you. They want to feel peace from you. They don't want to feel that you're arguing with them, that every time they're around you, you're fussing and fighting. They want to feel that you care for them, that you love them, that you, are going to be nice to them. And from our perspective, we may just want to talk about certain things, but oftentimes a man just wants to know that you love them, that you care for them, that they're oftentimes they're probably not going to verbalize it, but they might. But they just want to feel that you love them and that you trust in them. That's really important to them. So, not saying that you should never bring up anything that's bothering you. You certainly should, but just be mindful about how frequently you're doing it, because pointing out flaws in someone can make them feel like they're being criticized. Just think about yourself and some of the people that have made you feel happiest in your life. Doesn't have to be a relationship at all. It could be like a family member, a friend, teacher. Think about those people who you felt loved by and encouraged by. Most likely they weren't constantly pointing out your flaws or being critical of you. So just think about what you like as a person, and then try to implement that in your relationship. Another thing in terms of how to get proposed to within 6 months, you want to be clear. I mentioned that before, but a man, oftentimes they're going to try you, and not try you in such a negative way, but there's things about, everyone has their own flaws. I'm not perfect, my fiance's not perfect, no one is perfect. If we were, we wouldn't need help from anyone. So it could just be with anything. If sometimes a man will try you in terms of your belief systems. They want to see if you're really standing on what you say you believe. So in those moments, you need to stay strong, need to make sure that you are disciplined, and don't fall short on that, because a man, they love the chase, just in terms of anything in their life, relationships, work, anything. So if you say you believe something, but then you do the opposite, in their mind, men are really big on respect. It doesn't matter your belief, but in the Bible, it says women should respect their husbands, and that men should love their wives. It just depends on what version. So respect is big to men. If you respect a man, show them respect, they will love you, and vice versa, right? So if a man loves a woman will respect them. So it's like this big cycle of the chicken or egg come first, right? But yeah, respecting him, he is really gonna trust in you, and feel honored by you. And just in terms of that, just make sure that you respect the individual that you're with. That is really going to make a man more attracted to you. So a man does want to believe that the woman is smart, but he just wants to feel respected. He wants to feel that he's strong in your eyes. And in this day and age, women, a lot of us work, a lot of us do a lot of different things in the world. So it's not at that point anymore where a lot of us are just damsel in distresses, or damsels in distress, I should say. But a man, I feel like it's just innate in a man. A man wants to feel that you care for him, and that you respect him. Respecting a man, that'll get you proposed to within 6 months. One other thing I want to touch on, I don't want to make these videos too long. I just want to talk to you about the things that I think are really important. And one other thing is beautify yourself, if that's something that you like to do. If you're a really feminine woman, be feminine. One thing about me, I love makeup. And I've already mentioned I love to smile, so I was always smiling, and I always had my makeup done whenever we'll go on dates, because I love that. I love doing that. Me, I actually work from home, so I don't have on a ton of makeup or anything right now, but anytime I will go on a date, I love primping myself. I love getting my nails done, my feet done. I love wearing jewelry, earrings, rings. I really do my makeup well. Then I always like doing my hair. A lot of times I wear my hair, I wear it like out and down curly. So that's important. And I also dressed well. The person that you're looking for is looking for someone attractive, whatever that may be. So yes, 100%, your heart is the most important thing. That's the one thing I look at, and that's the one thing that made me attracted to my fiance the most, was his heart and who he is internally. However, you're presenting a package to the world. And of course, for me, it's a little easy. It was easy for me because I love doing that. I love beautifying myself. I love doing my hair. I love doing my makeup. I love it. I love dressing well. I love shopping and buying nice clothes and looking fashionable. Whatever that means to you, fashion, right? But that's just something. Remember, again, I'm not going to say that everything applies to everyone. However, whatever it means to you in terms of beautifying yourself. So if you're not somebody who likes makeup and you don't want to wear makeup, or if you wear makeup you break out, if you're just not interested, that's fine. Okay. What's wrong with putting on some lipstick or some lip gloss when you go out? I don't think there's anything wrong with that. There's even like natural colors. Just, how you're presenting yourself, right? So you don't have to wear makeup, that's fine. But without putting on foundation, okay, you can put a little paint on your eyebrows, right? Define them. You can put a little mascara on. But just those little things, just like, or if you're really against makeup for some reason, you just don't like it, it breaks you out, and you've heard things like it makes you old, and that probably is true. Okay, do you have a skincare regimen? Are you caring for your skin appropriately? Yeah, you really just want to, as was mentioned before, caring about yourself. Like, I really just put a lot of time into myself before I even, started dating at the beginning of this year. But what you do for yourself is going to reflect on the outside, right? If you're really happy in yourself, you're going to want to take care of your skin. You're going to want to take care of your hair, moisturize it, moisturize the skin, moisturize your neck. You're going to want to do all those things. So those are really important. And if there's a reason why if for some reason you don't want to do those things, keep in mind, take out the makeup part. If you absolutely are against makeup, you just don't like it, something about it. But you're going to be doing those things outside of makeup, like I said. You're going to be caring for your appearance. And yeah, you only have one body, right? You have, I don't want to say one hair, but you have your head of hair, and you need to moisturize it and take care of yourself, wash your hair, condition it. And then one thing I love, perfume. I love fragrance. I always had on a nice fragrance, and my fiance knew me for that. And of course, it doesn't have to be expensive, just something nice. Even if you don't want to buy a fragrance, just some nice smelling cream. If you're allergic, okay, obviously not. I'm not talking about people who are allergic. But yeah, then into your clothes. I'm very feminine. I like florals. I like prints. I also like basic colors. I love color. I've been wearing a lot of neutral shades lately, but why not wear something nice? Everyone has a unique style, so wear something that's stylish to you. If you're going on a date, I can talk about that in another video too, because I remember somebody I went out with, they seemed like very interested in me because of how I looked, and I'm not talking about anything seductive or sexy. You don't want to have your boobs out, your breasts out, everything open, and a cleavage line showing everything down to your belly button. You want to be classy, but classy can mean a lot of different things to different people. If you're meeting somebody for the first time, you may just be a casual person, but I'm gonna say I don't suggest jeans. You can wear jeans. I've worn jeans on a first date, but it depends on what type of jeans. When I'm saying don't wear jeans, I mean like you're not gonna just wear old jeans that you wear when you're running errands or that you wear when you're cleaning your house. I don't know, maybe people wear jeans when they're cleaning their house, but I don't know, something where you're working in the yard. You're not gonna wear like an old pair. You're gonna wear like a classy pair, like, you know, if you like the ripped jeans look, you have little ripped jeans there, or, you know, just a nice fit, clean, crisp pair of jeans with a nice top or whatever you want. But you don't want to be too casual. You want to present yourself well. Like I said, I've worn jeans many times on first dates, but it's a certain jean. It's like a stylish jean, right? But nothing crazy. I've worn like plain jeans, but they were a stylish jean that you would wear when you're going out, like a dark pair. And you can wear dresses, of course. That's always nice to wear on a first date or on dates. But yeah, that's one thing about me. I always was looking good. You know, and yeah, so I've said a lot of things so far. I know I've mentioned you want to be happy and smiling, but it should really be you. It shouldn't be a front. You need to be so happy in yourself, disciplining yourself, eating well, you know, and then also caring for the person. Don't fight, don't argue all the time, bringing up things that are unnecessary. Respect him, and, you know, make sure there's a partnership there. And then one of the things that will get you proposed to in 6 months is I did mention looking good. I'm gonna mention briefly about, I can focus on it in another video, but just your weight, since that also applies to your physical appearance. I mentioned 100% your internal is what is most important, and regardless of your size, you're gonna find someone that will care about you and love you. However, if you are very, very large, keep in mind you will have less options. Of course, you're only looking for one person to love you and that you can love. However, if you would like more options in terms of who you're going to have to choose from, you will want to get your weight under control. But aside from, keep in mind, that's not the focus. It's really just about your health too. If you want to live long, you want to have a relationship and you want to be there with your partner, you want to have a family, it's going to be important for you to get your weight under control simply because you don't want to pass away prematurely. So one, I'm not going to talk about it too much in terms of dating, but that is true. If you would like to have more options for you to choose from, you will want to get your weight under control just in terms of, you know, still looking physically attractive. There's plenty of people who are super thin. Some are more average size. Some are plump like me. Some are, more than that. Some are, you know, extremely thick. Everyone has their own shape, size. Some of it's genetic, but a lot of it is just what we're putting into our body. So, you know, I'm still on my weight loss journey, or just like being physically healthy just by what I put into my body and the foods that I eat. But it is very important for you to, that's part of maintaining your appearance pretty much. So the main focus is your health, but you being healthy will lead to other people being more attracted to you, just in terms of even you being happy with yourself. That'll make someone else happy with you, just in terms of who you are and happy with your life. But then also eating healthy and, you know, being physically active, that in turn is going to also make other people interested in you just based on your appearance. But yeah, appearance is not the most important thing, but that is going to be the first thing that draws you to someone potentially, and then someone else being drawn to you. Because if you see someone down the street, let's just say that they're homeless, you know, everyone's going through their struggles, but if you see somebody who's clearly homeless, in terms of their appearance, not talking about like where they're living, but how they look, disheveled, maybe clothes not clean, you're most likely not going to be interested in that person. Okay. And I know there's some of you who probably would be, but that's maybe showing that they can't care for themselves too well. So make sure you're caring for yourself. And you know, I pray for all those people who are struggling, of course, but just was using that as an example in terms of attraction. One other thing that will get you proposed to, is being, oh, and also said making sure that you're clear on your standards, that sort of thing. Don't, yes, that's where I was going and I stopped. A man will lose respect for you if you end up not sticking on your beliefs. So if you tell someone that Your belief system, just one example I'll give, is that you're unable to move in with someone before you're married. That's not part of your belief. Then if you've gotten to know that person more, you're either exclusively dating or you're in a like monogamous relationship, or you're boyfriend and girlfriend. Now you're in love, or you're loving him, you're really liking him, and you're scared you'll lose him, and that individual asks you, saying, yeah, like, we need to move in together, and I'm like, this is gonna help us, whether it's just because they want to spend time with you and they want to be with you and be close to you, maybe there's a distance, or just them saying, hey, I can save some money, you can save some money, let's just move in, why not? You need to stand firm on your beliefs, because that person's going to lose respect for you. They're going to say, okay, this person just says whatever. Even if they don't lose respect for you, they're going to, one, try to test you more with other things in the future, or they're just going to feel that this person is not firm. So whatever they say in the future, there's a possibility that I can get them to change their mind. So you don't want that. And oftentimes as women, we feel like it's better to be nicer. It's better to, nothing wrong with being nice. You need to be nice to your partner, but that we feel like either, okay, if I don't do this, maybe the person's not going to want to be with me. That I hear women say that type of thing a lot. Or I really care for this person, so let me just open up. Let me just give in to what they want. They're still going to be here. No. Keep in mind, a lot of men, they like that chase, and once they get their way, they lose interest. And this just goes for anything. Men like a little bit of a challenge. That's important. Another thing that will get you proposed to in 6 months is being a challenge. Let that man work for you. Let that man be nice to you. If he wants to pay for dates for you, let him pay for dates. And if that's your expectation, which it was mine, I never had to state it, but if that's your expectation, oftentimes as women, we want to help and we want to be nice, kind. So we think helping means we have to initiate certain things. So you do not have to initiate saying, hey, I'd like to pay 50-50. Can I pay for this meal on your first, second, third date, or especially first and second? You do not have to do that. Sometimes men, they can take advantage of certain things, and not in a bad way. It's just kind of like, if something's going to make things easier for them, even though they like that challenge, they like things to be a little difficult for them, it like gets them going. If someone's going to do something that makes it easier for them, they're not going to say no. For instance, ooh, sorry. If a woman is going to potentially, if a woman wants marriage and she decides instead she's going to move in with the man first before getting married, a lot of men are not going to say no to that, but that's not going to make them want to marry you more. They just will think to themselves, okay, it's easier for me now. I'm not going to say no. So just stand on your standards and beliefs. If somebody really cares for you and loves you, they're going to make it official, like my baby did. And those are really just the basic things that I want to go over with you. You need to stand on your beliefs, stay strong, and things are going to follow. There's more too, just in terms of, me, consistently praying, consistently, sticking to my belief system. But those are really the basics. Be nice to him. Be caring. Ask how he's doing. Don't argue. Don't fight. Stand on your beliefs. Beautify yourself. Maintain your weight. That all goes hand in hand. And yeah, a man just wants to feel respected. He wants to feel cared for and loved by you. Be happy, smile, be happy in yourself. Make sure you're maintaining your confidence. And Yeah, you're gonna get proposed to within 6 months. One other thing I forgot to mention. I know I mentioned about like moving in. I try not to like say too much just because I don't want anyone to feel judged, just because I have my certain beliefs and I'm just trying to share those with you. But absolutely, if you want to get proposed within 6 months, absolutely do not move in with your significant other. Um, you want to be mindful too about too much physical contact and things like that. Everyone has their own beliefs. Um, you want to make sure that you're consistently going on dates. You don't have to demand that at all. The man should know that, and if you've been following a certain path, it should be fine. You want to limit too much in the home. Make sure that person doesn't feel that he has you already. It's not manipulation. It's all just who you are. And it's okay as you're dating, obviously eventually you're going to go over to that person's house and, you're going to cook a meal for them, be hospitable, but you shouldn't be doing overnights, like, unless the person there's like some sort of distance. That's completely different, but you shouldn't be over that person's house every day. They should understand until you're that person's wife, or I guess you can say fiance, they don't have full access to you. Even as fiance, they don't, but they're still getting to know you. Boyfriend, girlfriend, that doesn't mean that they that you're their wife. You're not. Still getting to know somebody, and you want to see whether or not that's the person for you to marry. So you want to just eliminate a lot of that physical stuff. Hold handing is okay. Depending on how many people you're talking to, right? If you're getting to know a lot of people, you want to just eliminate all of that altogether, for the most part. And if you're exclusive with someone, it all depends on your own belief system and what you believe is okay. So if you believe that you should not kiss anyone that you're dating, you can only kiss someone on your wedding day, there's nothing wrong with that. But absolutely not in terms of the physical intimacy, in terms of going there, beyond kissing, absolutely not. You should not be doing that. And I know people are probably like, wait, what? That's if you intend to get proposed to within 6 months. That's just the way people are wired. That's the way men are wired. It's most likely not going to happen if that's something that you're doing, and consistently. Everyone makes mistakes, or, you may have intentions to not do something and it might still happen. But if that's something that you're gonna, continue to do, it's really not going to happen for you. Once again, moving in or going there, or being sexual in any way, it's most likely not going to happen to you in that time period. And one thing I wanted to just mention before I close out is, when a man is interested in you, depending on what your views are, if you are more like me in terms of like traditional thinking, if a man is interested in you and wants to be with you, he's going to propose to you. A man will know, one, if he wants to date you exclusively within a month's time. Not all, obviously. When I'm saying these things, like, it doesn't mean every single man, but a majority, a lot will. They'll know whether or not they want to be exclusive. Not saying marriage. And in terms of marriage, I always say within a year's time, a man would know. He will propose by then. It's funny, like, you can actually speak things and, pray about things and they come to pass. One thing I always said was that I wanted someone, whoever I ended up with, I wanted to have a short, I wanted to get to know them and know within a short amount of time that person was for me. Yeah, typically a man should propose to you after dating you within 1 year. Within 1 year for sure. It depends on age, of course. If the man is, I want to say, early 20s or below, give them some time. They may not, propose until maybe 2 years. I don't even want to go to 3, but it may take them maybe 2 years to know. Everyone's circumstance is different, but depending on what's going on, like if you guys were separated for some time or something like that. But beyond early 20s, a man for sure will know should propose within 1 year, or will propose within 1 year, but it just depends on what you're following. So if you follow all those things, especially those last few things that I mentioned in terms of absolutely what you're not supposed to do, if you follow those things, you will most likely get proposed to within 1 year. And obviously, if you're not interested in somebody, you shouldn't continue up to the year to say, oh, well, I've been with this person for this amount of time, they're going to propose. If that's not the person, if that's not the person for you, you shouldn't continue that relationship. um but yeah, and then, like I said, beyond the 23 years of age, or like early 20s, I should say, I shouldn't give an exact number, but beyond early 20s, a man will propose within 1 year if you follow those tips I just gave you. Anytime a man says something like, yeah, I can't propose, I'm not financially stable, no, I mean, a man is not going to say that, because for a man to say that, like, let's say it's beyond a year, for a man to give that as a reason, that most likely means that they have no fear that you would ever leave them, or they don't care. If that person really wants to be with you and sees you as their wife, they would be they would want to propose to you within a year, or by a year's time. Okay, I'll give max a year and a half. Okay, like, I give people some grace for things that can happen, but for you, I say a year. They wouldn't say that because they would be so fearful that you would find someone else, or they know your intentions already. They know that you want to be married. They wouldn't say that because they would think that that would make you run. But yeah, so I wouldn't listen to that excuse. And one thing, as women, we want to stick things out. You never make it so a man thinks that they have you wrapped around their finger. Absolutely not. And if they ever show anything, I know I mentioned like a man, I think I mentioned a man wants to be held accountable, but like, if they ever do anything that you don't like and it's like really bad, don't just let it slide. Like, if you find that a man, well, I'll give you a quick scenario. There was one time where my fiance, when we were in the early dating phase, like, he knew I was talking to other people, we were just getting to know each other, and we had been on, I think, a few dates. And I don't know how I think he followed me on Instagram, I think, but I went out with one of my longtime girlfriends. I hadn't seen her in a long time, and I posted a picture, and it was like her hand, but she had on like this big jean jacket, like it looked kind of manly, but like it was like our hands in a drink. And he became like, he didn't accuse me or anything. One, we weren't dating officially, we weren't exclusive, but he kind of got like a little attitude with me about it. And then I had told him that, hey, I'm not going to be available during this time, I'm going out with one of my girlfriends. And then I guess after he saw the picture, he was like, wait a minute, that's not a girl. But it was. She's actually a really tiny girl, but the jacket made it look like a girl, and then like the jacket looked like a man's jacket. But yeah, from there he kind of had like a little attitude with me, and I had to like explain to him, like, no, you're not going to yeah, I know you're saying that you're not accusing me, but I can tell that you are, that you're like talking to me a certain way. Like, no, that's not okay. That's one other thing I wanted to mention. If you don't like something, don't ever yell. Don't yell at your man. Don't yell at your boyfriend. Don't yell at the person you're dating. Men do not like that. Do not do that. Like, if you don't like something, one thing about me, I think helped in terms of my fiance wanted to be with me even more, is if I didn't like something, once again, I said not criticizing, but if there's something that for sure a man shouldn't do, or talk to you a certain way, not saying that my fiance ever did, but if there's just anything that they've done, like, like whether you feel like they're accusing you, just talk to them. I would talk, and I would say things, whether it was with him or just in my life. Hey, like, I noticed this, but no, that is not what's happening. So like, yeah, you just listen to what I'm saying. Like, that's not true. Like, I know you probably think that happened, but no, that, like I told you, this is not the exact words that I use, but just in general, how you can approach someone. Let's say it happened to you. Like, no, like, I told you that's my friend, but yeah, just want to be mindful of that. You don't want to raise your voice. That's another thing. You want to just always be yourself, be kind, caring, and I'm a very direct person. Like I said, I'm really fun and I laugh a lot, but I'm also direct. But you don't have to be rude when you're direct. Just explain things. And if you don't yell, you just talk, that man is he's gonna respect that about you. He's gonna feel loved. And you being kind to him and, caring and, sweet to him, that's gonna make him, wanna change, right? So not even with your relationship, but if you ever notice when somebody's getting upset, then you talk to them like normally and kindly, you don't get upset back. You just explain like, hey, no, like, no, that's not true. Like, oh yeah, I get your point, I totally do, but really this is what happened. They kind of want to stop feeling upset. Like they want to like pull back, like, oh, this person's being nice to me, oh, that wasn't kind of cool what I did or what I said or how I behaved, let me stop. But yeah, those things will get you proposed to within 6 months. And one thing I want to mention too is you actually, I know I said I accepted a proposal within 5 months or within 5.5 months. My suggestion is that you, oh, I should have said this at the beginning, is that you wait before accepting a proposal. I typically say when you're dating someone, it takes 3 to 6 months to get to know them. A man or a woman can put on a front. They can be on their best behavior, especially in those first 3 months. After the first 3 months, you're going to start to see them tripping up. You're going to start to see the real them. And you do need to see those things about them. You want to see how the person acts when they're frustrated. You want to see how they act when things don't go their way. So I would suggest that you accept the proposal at the 6-month mark. Like I always say, like I'm not saying when I'm saying something, it could be different for different people. Like me, it was 5.5 months, right? But and I would say you should, I can't say never, but I highly suggest that you do not accept the proposal before 3 months. But just remember, it's a very serious thing to accept a proposal. There's people who just, ask somebody to marry them not seriously or accept a proposal not being serious. But it's a serious thing when you're agreeing to be with someone for the rest of your life. That means that you've seen a lot of qualities in them. They have great character and that you are interested in them. They make you happy. They make you smile and they make you want to be better. And it's a serious thing. 3 months may not be enough to make that decision soundly. Maybe if you're around that person 24/7, but even then you need to have your own life. So and also within 3 months, a man should definitely ask you to be exclusive. I would say even 1 month, to be honest, but I'm giving everyone a little bit of leeway. And within a year, they should propose. No super long engagements either. That's kind of where my 1.5 mark comes in. More so up to like a 1.5 years for a wedding, because depending on your age, most people are paying for their own wedding. So just give yourself some time to save, and potentially 2 years max. But if you knew somebody for a year and you got proposed to on the year mark, me personally, everyone's different. I kind of don't think the engagement period should be longer than you knew the person. So I kind of feel if you had a year engagement, then maybe a year, 1.5 years for the until you get married. And like if you were proposed to at the 6 months mark, maybe like up to a year for planning for the wedding. And if you were proposed to at the 3 months mark, you just go ahead and get married, I guess, within 6 months to a year. But that's just some of my advice. I just wanted to explain to you. Hopefully that was kind of clear. This is a super long video just in terms of how you can get proposed to within 6 months just by following those steps that I gave you, those things you should follow about yourself, how you interact with your partner, some things that you definitely should not do, some things that you should do in terms of just beautifying yourself and, loving yourself, and just how you treat that person, but also how you treat the people around you. So I'll be back again. I hope this video was helpful to you. And we'll talk again soon. Thank you. Bye-bye. Next video is going to be, I have a couple ones, but I definitely need to talk to you about dating correctly. This kind of was about that too, but yeah, more so how to get the proposal within 6 months, how to get that ring. But yeah, I'm so happy, and I'm going to continue to keep you all on this journey with me. Bye.